This is a screencast of a talk I presented several years ago to the Southern California Cartoonist Society, a local professional and amateur cartooning club here in San Diego. I call it, Are You a Cartoonist If You Don't? The premise of this presentation is that it is not necessary to be a syndicated cartoonist or even a professional in order to be a cartoonist. This presentation will show a series of slides of work that I've created while employed in a variety of industries, freelancing, speculative work that I've produced for marketing and branding. Cartooning is one of the few industries that still relies heavily on speculation. What this means is that you do the work first and hope you can sell it to someone after the fact. Are you a cartoonist if you don't? Don't what? I get really interesting questions when I tell people I'm a cartoonist. The top one is always, "Oh, what's the name of the cartoon?" Followed by, "Have I seen it in the local paper?" Over the years, I've responded numerous ways, and this presentation is something I plan to use in my class to introduce students to careers in cartooning, which includes the speculative work of illustrators and other professionals, as well as drawing for fun. So I asked the question, are you a cartoonist if you don't sell cartoons, write gags for another cartoonist, submit your cartoons to a syndicate or a local newspaper? Are you a cartoonist if you don't associate with other cartoonists? Are you a cartoonist if you don't work at an animation studio? Or are you a cartoonist if you draw really well but have never told anyone or shown them your drawings? The following slides are samples from 30+ years of drawing cartoons. Some are just quick sketches, some are pieces sold as professional, and some are illustrations donated to a variety of charities and church publications or events. And a few are just sketches of ideas or caricatures or characterizations of friends, professors, co-workers, or employers. This is a cartoon example that I envisioned for a t-shirt that I thought would go over really well at the youth group at a church I used to attend. When I brought it to the pastor, he said, "Lose the belly button." I eliminated it from the drawing in Photoshop, but the idea was still rejected and never put on a t-shirt. At least not yet. This is another idea for the youth group at the same church. They created a skateboard park to entice the local teenagers to come to the campus and eventually to witness to them. The design was rejected because the audience was for unsaved youth who likely wouldn't be interested in wearing a Christian t-shirt. I found out about a contest from another designer and quickly drew up this idea for a construction bill in 1998. Even though the client loved it, I got the news after the deadline was passed. I didn't get paid for it, but they loved the double entendre of turning Law AB, whatever the designation was, into a B. This was a commissioned job for one of the largest travel agencies in San Diego County. Most of their advertising at the time was done in the penny saver, and one of their employees' children drew the original Viking character for their primarily print ads. This is a caricature of the owner. I eventually drew 4 different designs, all of which were rejected, after the owner took a vote and the employees decided they liked the original character better. But I was paid for my time and it was a pretty fun project. I worked for several years as a graphic designer and a supervisor at a company that built trade show displays. This was a sticker that got printed hundreds of times and given to the employees to anonymously point out errors or damage to displays before they were shipped out to trade shows. The commissioned piece I did several years ago for Sony Corporation for a presentation to corporate headquarters to develop large flat-screen plasma displays. Yes, this is a very old cartoon. Another part of Sony's presentation was a system to deliver content to movie theaters via satellite feed. I drew these 2 cartoon characters for the commercial printer I work for as a prepress artist, which is preparing art for offset printing. It's actually the same drawing, but after I digitized it in Adobe Illustrator, I flipped it, recolored it, and added some features, and voila, 2 Panther pals. While teaching a Sunday school class of 8 and 9-year-olds, I noticed how many of them were tracing their hands, so I joined them, sort of. I took the time-honored pastime, added my own twisted take on it, and quickly got the respect of every little boy in the class, and the ire of every little girl. The designer for the Union Tribune hired me to create some illustrations for a Christmas card for one of his freelance clients, Hang 10. This and the next 3 slides were submitted as ideas. The client rejected all of the ideas, but I still got paid as I fulfilled the contract, which were the ideas the art director asked me to illustrate. He wanted action cartoons in a unique style, so I created this new one, which is more angular than my usual style. The first one was Santa wakeboarding, with his MP3 player, snowboarding, and lastly, surfing. In conclusion, you are if you do. Do what? Any and all of the above. You don't have to be a syndicated cartoonist, work in animation, sell to local companies, or even draw silly pictures for friends, coworkers, and family members. Though the Southern California Cartoonist Society is all but defunct, no longer meeting on a monthly basis as we did for many years, if we still were, everyone would be welcomed at SECS, just as I was. There are many things cartooning can be used for beyond a career in cartooning. I use the interest most students still have in cartoons as the basis for all the classes I teach, including digital art, graphic design, mixed media, drawing and painting, etc. And slightly alter Jeff Foxworthy's famous saying, "If you draw funny pictures, you may just be a cartoonist." Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this presentation, or if you want to hire me to draw or teach cartooning to you, your children, or as a visiting teacher to your classroom, you can reach me at www.hiswork.com or email me at doulos@hiswork.com.